Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation, offering your sponsors customized. Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation, offering your sponsors customized. Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation, offering your sponsors customized. Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation, offering your sponsors customized.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Championship Sunday here at the Saville U25 Challenge from the Saville Curling Center in Edmonton, Alberta, brought to you on Curling Stadium, Edmonton. This morning's game, we have quarterfinal action between Gracelyn Richards of Edmonton and Yuina Miura from Nayoro, Japan. Richards, we understood that Richards would have hammer, but it doesn't appear to be that way. Oh yeah, maybe it does. There's already a rock thrown. Apologies for that. So Richards has hammer by virtue of having a better record. She finished 2-1 and qualified through B, and Miura was 2-2 and qualified through C. So she does have hammer, and she also had choice of rocks and has chosen the red rocks. So we're underway here. 3 games today for the winners of both sides of this, the men's and ladies. If they're going to win it, they got to play 3. For these teams anyways. There are 2 teams with bye. The 2 A winners, Ha and Tabata, both have byes to the semis. 6 qualifiers. And up goes the corner guard. If you've been watching this weekend, there's some really fine young curlers from both sides of the ocean, to be honest. The North American, Canadian teams, I guess we just have Canada teams this weekend, and the teams from overseas, from Asia, are just, everybody's just so solid and scary good, I like to say, for somebody that didn't see this quality of junior curling when I was a junior. or just out of junior in some cases. So. Center guard for Miura. Miura's the #1 junior team out of Japan. Rachel Jakes throwing second stones for Gracelyn Richards. Playing the out turn behind the corner. Looks pretty good. Ice has been great all week, been really consistent. I don't think anybody's been surprised by anything, and a really good shot here for the first end for Team Richards. Second stone for Miura is Yuna Takahashi. Oh, no, apologies for that. Yuna Sakuma. Takahashi's the lead. This one's going to probably touch the guard. Shouldn't hit it hard enough to remove it, so everything will still stay in play, and she ends up with a second pretty much center guard. So turned out okay. By throwing that light weight, they were able to make sure that if they did touch the corner guard, they didn't remove it, and that would have meant it would have had to go back. Now it's wide open. We're at the 6th rock at the end. So whatever happens with all those guards counts. Mason trying to decide here. Looks like she's going to throw that corner guard back up. Not a bad call here. We're a little tight. So Yuna Sakuma will have a chance here to make the double. Make the double and roll to the center here. You'd be in a pretty good position. This looks really good. Just not quite. Had to curl just a little bit more. We're just going to change the plan here. See where she goes here. She's going to come around on the in-turn. Right around the center guard. Very quick and change in strategy from the corner guard that she threw up previously, but nothing wrong with this call either. Set up a double here, so you'd like to get past that at least. And it will. Stayed above the tee line. Slid a little bit behind the tee line, so interesting opportunity here for Miura. Will she play a hit on that and try to flop? And that's the initial call. calling for low weight. I'm not sure where that is, but she did signal down weight, so I would imagine it's somewhere in the area of hack to board weight for this shot. Probably closer to board than hack. Zai Matsunaga, third stone for Miura. I think it's going to be a little heavy to get the inside roll. She'd like to hang around at least. She's in the house, just overthrown a little bit, I think. It's always a bit of a challenge finding that exact weight in the first end or two. You tend not to want to underthrow it. And generally, that's a better plan than an underthrow. This ice that's prepped and nipped and everything for the event, every draw, it's a little different because you're not going to have really heavy ice to start at any position when you're, for those of you that are club curlers out there, you know how quite often the first end is a couple seconds, maybe even 3 seconds or so slower than once you get to maybe the third end, sometimes only the second. It only takes a few rocks to change it, but it can be a little stiff. Come around for Richards here, going a little deeper even yet, trying to go deep to bury it, and to make sure that if Miura does play a draw down to it, it's not sitting on the back of the button or something like that, which would make it really tough. So still in a good position to maybe manage a deuce here. You're looking at the hit and roll. She was looking at hitting the back one. Hitting the back one I don't think is a great plan. Freeze to the back one's possible. Hitting a roll on the high one is probably the best option. There's a bit of a risk of a jam, but so it looks like the same call, really, just a little hit and flop, but I think she'll want to have significantly less weight on this. So Takahashi, second stone here in the first end. A lot of hand signals for the European teams, the Asian teams, both all of them use a number of hand signals. That was a great sweeping job to sneak that one by. Richard's still in good shape, though. There's Sophia Ryerchuk with her second stone here in the first end. This one looks pretty good too. Won't get to the inside, but that's okay for Richard. That's probably better, to be honest. Pretty much will force Miura to hit the high one. Try to make the double. Double definitely there. If you don't make the double, you could get a little roll inside, although that will probably jam. So she's going to look at the double. Just lining up the double, really, at this point. If you can make this, there's a good chance you'll force Richards to take one. The other semifinal game you can see going on right beside us, or quarterfinal game rather, is Mila Platt and Duncan. Here's Miura's first stone in the first end of our game. Gotta go hard on this. Not going to make the double, I don't think, but she's not going to jam it either, so not too bad. It's in a great position. Richards will probably do something with it, although she's indicating now she might just play an in-turn draw through that hole. That'd be a very aggressive call, but a good one. I like the aggressive skips. As long as you have a team that's all on board with playing that way, and those are discussions that you have in the off season at the start of the year, and to make sure that everybody is on the same page, because if they aren't going after shots like this or much later on in the game or in events, sometimes leads to a little bit of what would be the right word? Just not all on board, and so it gets a little disruptive for a team if everybody's not feeling it the same way and okay with the direction of play. So I think the Richards team generally is a fairly aggressive team from what we've seen so far. Seen them in this event already. Saw them once in a previous event, so they're not afraid to go after it a little bit. So this is an interesting call. A lot of people would have hit the yellow one. So a draw right out of the gate for Gracelyn Richards. Looks pretty good. Can't quite tell what the weight's like, but it's probably fine. There we go as it comes into view on the overhead. As you can see, it's just perfect for weight. That's a heck of a shot for your first shot of the day. Gracelyn Richards buries it top button, or top 4 foot rather, and Miura in some trouble now in the sense that it's hard to do anything with that one without running the risk of multiple score. She might just play the freeze to it. Her third kind of indicated that at one point. If you can make that, that's a really good shot and makes it very hard for Richards to get her second one. She would have to go probably out turn where we haven't been yet and come all the way around to probably a little better than full 8 foot. That would be a very difficult draw first end, and on a piece of ice that we haven't seen anything happen yet. She is sitting 2 right now, Richard, so Miura needs to make this one. You don't want to drop a 3-hander here in the first end. Yuina Miura of Japan delivering her second and final stone here in this first end. This one's got to curl a bunch. Comes. Oh, got a nice little redirect. A very good and alert call by the third stone on that, or combination of whoever called it. We're not hearing it, but it usually would be the third stone or the third stone of the skip that realized that wasn't going to curl, so let's get a little rub, which she did. And she ended up exactly where she called it anyways, to be honest. It was that's if she had made it right, she couldn't have made it any better than that. So Richards, I thought might have to go around on the out turn, but she's not. She's going to come through the port, which is almost the same shot she just threw as well. So just has to be probably 6 inches or 8 inches more ice. Draw for 2 in end number 1 for Gracelyn Richards. Not the easiest draw ever, but she just threw it. So I should have a really good idea on the weight. Just a matter of getting the line right. Just needs to curl a little bit. I think it's going to be fine for line. Got to make sure it gets by the top one. And it will. Maybe. And she makes it, despite being a little bit casual on the sweep. Gracelyn Richards makes her draw for 2 here in end number 1 of this quarterfinal action of the Saville U25 challenge. She takes a 2-0 lead. We'll be back after the break.
Gripper first. on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
So we're back for end number 2. Gracelyn Richards with a nice draw to secure her 2 in end number 1. Looked like Miura might escape with only a single, but a really nice draw by Gracelyn to get her deuce. And she is going to go right to the house with this now with the early 2-0 lead. And lead Amy Wheatcroft. Showing very well. So Miura is not going to waste any time throwing up a corner guard here. This one looks pretty good. Don't want to be too high. We talked about that a bunch this weekend. Ice has enough curl to it that if you're not in fairly tight to the rings, it's pretty easy to remove anything you put behind it. So, but that one's pretty good. It's about halfway. We go off with basically the same shot. Tight guard here would be pretty good as well. This one's got to get over quite a ways. And we'll get pretty well there. I'd like to have got another half a rock at least curl there to prevent this little hit and roll behind the corner, but nice weight, just didn't curl quite enough. It's coming up. Probably a little more than they'd like. Looks like it's just going to be on the nose. It's going to rub. Ooh, another little bit of just a casual. It's just seen a lot of that this weekend for teams that are this good. And they make some great sweep calls and line calls and some really great effort with the brooms. But there's just been a few too many casual sweeping mistakes is what I would call them. Just where even that one, you can't let that touch the top one. You really want to at least get by and make full solid contact on the rock biting the forefoot. And could have done that quite easily. But anyway, sometimes it looks a little different when you're on the ice too than it does up here for sure. So second stone, Rachel Jakes. Trying to get this one over to the center line. Looks like they'll get there. Good shot. Hit and roll to the corner is still there if Miura chooses to play it. Looks like she will. So Yuna Sakuma being asked to make this hit and roll. This one looks a little better. This could be really good if it doesn't roll too far. I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. It did roll a little bit open for sure. It's still a pretty good effort. Let's see, Gracelyn trying to find out exactly how much they can see if you're not familiar with that at all, and I'm sure most of you are, but if you're not familiar and they hold the broom on top of the rock like that, they're really just trying to ask the question, how much can you see from the other end? Because when you're standing in the house with a broom, it can look very different than when you're at the other end. As you know from any time that you've thrown a shot like that and you go down to the other end to get ready to throw it, it just doesn't look quite so, the holes don't look as big and the room doesn't look as much and everything like that. So he's peeling the guard. Almost got them both. That would have been a spectacular shot. So Miura, with hammer, going to end up playing this end probably in a place that she doesn't really want to play it, but I'd rather not be playing around all these guards, red guards, but you can hit that one in the house, which probably would be helpful. Hit it and just roll a little bit. Yeah, you could roll there, or even roll right in behind it would be fine. The in-turn draw around is great too, but you'd certainly have a better shot rock than you'll get off of here, but I just don't like quite this many reds out here, so rather than waste one peel on the guard, might just hit this one, and that's what she's doing. Kuma, her second here. I'd like this to curl a little bit more, but it looks like will it stay? It's hard to say, and it's going to spin, and no, it didn't quite spin back far enough. Thought it would. I always wonder where you should be sweeping on that situation to get the rock to swing in there. We used to sweep it a little bit on the higher side and figured we'd make it spin that way, but most teams now just sweep exactly where they want it to go. And sometimes we see them spin quite a ways at times. That one didn't though, so opportunity for Richards to get rid of the shot rock. Sophia Ryerchuk, third stone for Richards. Nice weight on this. The only bad thing about that weight is it's hard to roll 4 feet. It's very difficult to make a roll like that. Surprising call here, at least for me, a surprising call to see her play the out turn come around. I think I'd still be inclined to hit the one on the edge of the 4 foot, make the roll. It's only a 2 foot roll and you're buried, and you would be probably above the tee line. Either way, make this is a great shot too. Third stone, Ai Matsunaga. Sweepers just watching would indicate it's pretty heavy. It's going to have to really dig in hard here to even stay. And it's digging. And it will stay for a second shot. Now Richards has a chance to really put some pressure on, because with a 2-0 lead and you're got some guards to work with, and Miura deciding to leave that one at the forefoot, come right around here and with the top forefoot or top button and buried. You're gonna be in big trouble if you're Miura. Is it gonna sneak by or no? No, not quite. So a break for Miura, I think. Pretty significant break. That weight was perfect. She would have been easily top button. Perfect weight. A little bit of indecision here by Miura. It's surprising. Just not quite sure what to do. She has a couple of rocks to roll from. She's going to draw. Shot to Matsunaga just played, so not a bad idea to play it again. Should have a pretty good handle on the weight. Need to make this one, though. It's just a few shots in every game that everybody, but particularly your third, just needs to make for you. And this is early in the game, but this is one of them. Line's perfect. The weight is pretty near perfect as well. The only problem is that you're going to see is they're going to draw to it. Same situation we had in the first end, but this time if Richards is able to draw to it, there really may not be another place for Miura to try to draw to get her two without going to the outturn. Not sure what they're looking at down there, but so Richards going to follow that down. She had great draw weight in the first end, so I would expect this to be very, very close. Those are working pretty hard on this to get it by. I don't think she's getting by. She's not. Probably just a little bit light. But open the door for Miura here to change this around. Seemed yesterday we had a number of times when one or two shots just turned it in completely around. And if Miura makes this one and puts it in there right on top of the one she just threw, you've just witnessed basically the same situation with just making one good shot and getting one miss, and all of a sudden what looked like it was going to be hard to maybe even score is looking like it could be a three if you make two good shots. And Yuina Miura. It's got a curl. It was probably good that it did go by. They thought at the end there to maybe take it by. You'd like to take it by and still somehow be second shot, which would have been tough for sure. So they couldn't really do much more than they did there, but it did manage to at least get to the back of the yellow. Had it stayed high and just rubbed off like that, could have quite possibly been a double set 3. I think Richards has to make a play on the back one. I don't think she can afford to leave it there and just play the draw again. I would think that she would probably want to remove it, although I'm not really sure with the broom going down there what exactly they're playing. She's now asked one of her front end players to tell her what it looks like from the hack. Looking at whether or not she can hit the back one and actually hit the back yellow and get enough action off it to move the one off the button. Not sure if you can or not. It doesn't look impossible, but it doesn't look real possible either. So I think it might be back just a little bit too far. And I don't even know for sure if she's playing that yet. We will find out here in a minute. She may, because she was asking to line it up, she may think that she can come around the guard and get a piece of that top yellow and then just flop in front of the other yellow or even in front of her own. And if you could do that, that would be a great shot, and that would obviously be the shot to play. Richard's final stone here in end number 2. Girl's indicating it might be a little bit heavy. She'll be on the back one. She could go around the horn here if she hits the red one first. She won't. So probably as good as she could do on that shot, to be honest. I'm not so sure she could have got any more out of it than that. So Miura with a hit to tie this one up. There's not much more than that you could do. If you were desperate and you were at needed three to tie a game up or something, you might be able to hit the red, come off the other red, and go back up a little bit, kind of that around the horn shot that we were talking about a second ago. But I don't think it's really there, but you'd probably give it a go anyways. So just a lightweight hit for Miura. This one looks pretty good. She just needs to come up a little bit more, and she will. She got all kinds of catchers over there, so a very nice shot. And we are all tied up here in our quarterfinal action at the Saville U25 Challenge. We'll be back after a break.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
And it's still early in this one. We're only in the third end, but it looks like we've got a great game brewing between Gracelyn Richards and Yuina Miura. Tied up at 2. After 2. Long guard up by Miura. Richards is looking to come around it. Not going much too deep. Miura might be able to get it out the back. Yeah. Who said skips can't sweep? Gee. Good shot. Going right in now for Miura. Lead Yuna Takahashi. He has to put this one around the guard, above the tee line. Been hanging out there quite a while. It's trying to move over now, but I don't know if it's going to get as far as they want it over there. Just a few feet heavy. A little discussion there. I don't know if she felt she touched the rock there. Either way, no harm, no foul, and they continue on. Amy Wheatcroft being asked to remove the yellow. Gently remove it. They need to curl. Need to carve this one in pretty good. Going to get a piece. It's going to be enough. Maybe just. She will get it out the back. Will she get it out the back? Not quite. Shouldn't really matter too much. It's really not a rock that you're going to expect to affect play, but still, you always like those ones to go out. You don't want a whole lot of those little nibblers around the outside sometimes. Can cause you some grief. So Miura's going to give that one a go again. This time the other Yuna Sakuma. Well, sorry about that, folks. I lost my connection there for a little bit of time. Obviously, a lot has happened while I was gone. To the traditional computer fix for all of us non-techie kind of guys. Turn it off, turn it on, and eventually we've made our way back. So we've got quite a conglomeration of rocks in here, and unfortunately you've seen how they got there, but I haven't. So just looking at, we've got not a lot of rocks left. Probably looks like 2 reds and 1 yellow, probably. 2 for Richards and 1 from Miura. If they agree, if Richards ever figures out how to get rid of that red rock, Miura is going to be in one heap of trouble. It's not the easiest rock to get rid of, but you maybe got to play a shot now with the hope that you can open something up for a big shot on your next one. Oh, sorry about that. I guess I got those colors backwards in my mind. Lost track of everything while we're gone. Richards with hammer here. I'll start that over again with hammer here and Richards being red. Miura's got 3 of them biting her in the forefoot. Richards with just a 1 on the button. Looking to move the top yellow. And nicely, we'll get by, it does. So a pretty good shot. I think it's not, I don't know if she was ever going to get in for second shot there at all. I'm pretty sure she couldn't have, but Miura does have a chance here, I think, to go through the port, play the top yellow just gently, and tap the red out. There's nothing really off the high red one. And she's throwing this with just as a guard. There'll be nothing wrong with that either. A more aggressive shot would be to come right in and tap the yellow on the red, sit right there. Not going to move the red very far, but probably going to move it so you're in a little bit better position. But either way, it gets a little nervy in this situation, so Miura's going to look to play a guard. I think Richards would be able to score by tapping the red on the red. Trying to take 2 shots away with 1 guard here almost. She's going to come really close to doing that. That's a great guard. I think she can still get to it, but it's much harder than it was, or it looks much harder at least than it was a minute ago. You don't have to see very much of the red to get to it. If you can get to right where her broom is, you can make the little tap. We'll be playing it pretty light. She's not going to do that, I guess. Maybe going to play the intern. Just tapping around here. Looks like she's going to try the intern draw. Not totally sure whose shot is here. I think it's yellow. Pretty sure it's yellow based on the last shot as well. There you go. Thanks, Connor. Well, it's still really close. Could be red. Could be a tight one to measure. The little logo in the middle makes it a little tough to see where the hole is, but anyway, it's very close. One way or the other. Somebody's counting one. Not a lot of room to make this draw, but if you make it, you probably touch the yellow anyway and get your two. So, Gracelyn Richards, final rock here in the third end. This would be a great shot too if you make this one, even if ends up being for one. It's a really nice delivery. All these players have such good deliveries. This one's on its way. Those are on it early. Probably not heavy. She's not going to get by. So it looks like one yellow. So Miura steals one here in the third end. We'll take a 3-2 lead to the fourth end. And we'll be back right after the break.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
So we're back for the fourth end. Going to try to hang around for the whole end this time. And we have Miura with a 3-2 lead over Richards. Quite an end the last end. Unfortunately, I didn't see very much of it, but a lot of rocks in the 4-foot area, and it was pretty wild towards the end. A little bit tough even to tell who was shot rock for us, and they had it figured out pretty quickly. So still, really probably an exciting end, and we'll hope to have more of those as we move along here. Richards with hammer, trailing by one. Long center guard up by Miura. Richards coming around. They seem to be consistently heavy and wide on these, but I think it's all the weight. I think they played that shot a number of times, and they always seem to be kind of towards the back of the 4-foot, back of the 8-foot, and as a result, don't get the curl they're looking for either. Shouldn't say consistently. We haven't played that many ends yet, but 2 or 3, maybe 4 times that's happened. So, one thing interesting about it does create a little bit of an interesting dilemma for Miura as far as whether or not you try to remove it or whether you try to use it or whatever happens. So, Leadstone Takahashi, Yuina Takahashi. Playing a draw to the red one. This one needs to get over too. It's going to get there, I think. Yeah, well done. Shot that was called. Amy Wheatcroft following it down, but following it down with just a little bit more weight. Just likes to move that red one off the back without moving it out. Maybe wouldn't matter too much if you move it out, but if you can save it, why not save it? If you can get the angle right on this top one, a little bit of a push outside there. It looked like. Yep. Looks pretty good. Doesn't look like it's outside at all. Just trying to get the angles. Need a little more curl to get this lined up a little bit better. And that's perfect. So you can see there that they did is just change the angles. And if it ever happened that you could use it, now when you tap the red, the yellow will miss the other red. But chances are that won't happen because it looks like there's going to be another end with a lot of rocks in play. And that probably is not going to enter into the mix here. Same shot for Yuina Sakuma. Now. It's kind of the same idea, just down to the red. It's over curling a little bit. Might be, yeah, a little too much. It's okay, but not great. So Rachel Jakes now for Team Richards. He has to throw just pretty much a freeze right into the junction between the red and the yellow there. Working hard on this is not going to get there. So Rachel comes up a little light. And unfortunately, the worst part of that is now you give Miura a chance to do this very same thing, really. So Sakuma, their second one here in the fourth. I don't know what exactly that signal means, but it looks like it probably means it's got enough weight. A lot of hand signals to try to read. For us, they all know what they're all about. This one's got to come up a little more. We'll get there. It does. It's a very good shot. Very good shot. You'll see the replay here. Not too much going on here. A little bit of sweeping. They probably, originally I figured they might want it to be a tiny little bit deeper than where this one stops, just to be number one or number two in there. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with where this is. We're only halfway through the end. And Richards now has a dilemma on how to get rid of some of these rocks. Looks like she's going to peel the guard. She might even be running the guard back, but I don't think so. I think it'll be just a straight peel. Rachel Jakes. Not going to quite get there, but that's a good spot and a good roll. Don't know if you'll get a chance to use it, but you now have two corners up for Richards. The bad news is Miura has two of them on the button, and hard to get rid of both in one shot. You can see yellow shot rock there and red's number two. So it's it would be very difficult to get rid of both yellows in one shot. Probably impossible, to be honest. And So you're going to need a couple of rocks to make that happen. And in the meantime, Miura is going to be throwing guards on these. So it could be very interesting. Really important to get this guard in the right place. And trying to get it over a little bit. That's pretty good. Good job by the sweepers. They knew that they didn't need to actually carve that over. They had to stop it from curling too much, so they were actually sweeping against the curl a little bit. Anyway, they did it perfectly. Sophia Ryerchuk now will have her crack at peeling this guard off. And should be okay. She's going to run this back, maybe, is she? I didn't think she was going to do that, but I don't know if it changed a lot. Yeah, it could be. Red could be shot now. Certainly looks like red's got more of the button than the yellows. But it looks like it's further away for some reason. I don't know. So Miura Force, what do you do here? Do you throw the guard or do you go down, tap that up and make sure you're shot? She is doing one or the other. We don't know what yet, but if she's shot, she'll be guarding. If she's not shot, she still might be guarding. Problem with going and tapping it is you could end up setting up a double or triple in there and find yourself in a little bit of trouble that you don't need to be in. Like I say, I think that red is shot, but I'm not really sure even on that. So the guard's back up. Very nicely done. Sweepers high-fiving each other. And they should on that one. That would put that one in exactly the right spot. Put the last one in exactly the right spot, too. Just Richard's team made a nice run at it. Wiggle things around a little bit. So Richards now is going to throw a kind of a come around half guard kind of shot here. Just a 8-foot half buried. Probably to make sure that Miura doesn't play the little tap. And when she does, if she plays that, she could end up sitting a bunch. I don't know. This is a bit of an interesting call. Because if she puts this where she said, she might even open up her back red one. Or keep her back red one open to the point that you could go down and tap it on the wide side. You wouldn't have to tap it very far to be sure you were sitting at least two. Didn't have a lot of choice there, though, Richard. She really couldn't do anything with those yellows. So Miura's coming down here with somewhere around draw weight. Just getting to that red one. It looks like third stone Matsunaga, who seems to be always in a very good mood. I think it's not a bad time if you want to take a crack at moving that red one back a little bit. Just with, again, just draw weight though, nothing more than draw weight. Good, tap it back and just roll off it a little bit so yours doesn't turn into a catcher for Richards. She might be able to come around the guard and get enough curl to touch her own as well. That might be the other shot that's there. It looks like it's just got to go way too far to get to there. Going really hard here. Really hard. Will she tap the yellow or... No, she will slide by. That's a great shot. Wow. And she didn't roll off it or anything. I figured she'd have to roll off. You can see this coming in here now. So we were trying to carve it over there right to the rock and just barely got by the top yellow. Just by a tiniest little bit and a little tap. Didn't tap it very far, but there is a good look at it there. You can see now, I think yellow is sitting 1, 2, probably 3. Looks like 3 to me. Great shot there, Connor. Thank you. It's a really tough situation for Team Richards now. Thinking you're going to have to run something. And you've only got a couple of rocks to come, and I don't know how you're ever going to score here, but if you can at least somehow get the damage down to 1 here. There is a possibility of getting shot rock if you run as we look at the long shot here, if you run the red on the far left into the pocket, sort of into the yellow biting they're all biting the button. If you're running into the back one, the right one on the overhead as we look at it, then you might even be able to get shot rock with it, but man, it is tough. That's the only one I think that you can do that with. Everything else turns out not good. And even if they said play the double peel here and open it right up, you're still probably in massive trouble. Miura just puts back a guard on the center line, maybe a little deeper than that one, and you really have nothing. So run the red into the pile and hope really is kind of what you're going to try to do here, and it might work. You might be able to get rid of a couple of yellows here. I think it'd be hard, but you might get rid of a couple of yellows. You can hit the top yellow on to either one of those yellows, and you might end up getting rid of 2. But I suspect you're just going to get rid of 1. But it might somehow make the situation a little better. And if it leaves yours that you run back somewhere handy there that you might be able to use afterwards, would be a bonus too. So Gracelyn Richards in some big trouble, trying to find a way out with a long run back. It's going to curl too much. Not going to get much out of this. Well, unfortunately, didn't really accomplish very much. Just curled harder than they anticipated, obviously. Curled quite a bit for that kind of weight. So Miura here. Hard to figure out where to put this rock if you're her. When you look at it there, like we say, it looks like 3 yellows to me. 2 for sure, and pretty sure it's 3. Almost believe that, because if it was only 1, for example, I don't know if Gracelyn would have taken a shot at that run back, because it was probably not going to make it better. If you were counting 1, it definitely wasn't going to make it better. Or if they were counting run, rather, it definitely wasn't going to make it any better than that. And the only way it could go would be backwards, and they'd be counting 2 or 3. So I think they're counting 2 or 3 already, and probably 3. So this will be it doesn't have a lot of ice, so we'll see what she's throwing here before I take a guess at what this is. I'm assuming she would be throwing a guard of some sort. She could draw right on top of the ones that she just threw. Then she'd definitely be 3 or 4. She's going to do that. Wow. That's a very nice shot. Very aggressive shot and a very nice shot. So that tells me she probably wasn't sitting 3. She was probably sitting 2. Anyway, now it's pretty easy to count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4 yellows. Gracelyn has a chance here to make a double and give up 2, which will keep her in the game. She'll be down 3, but we'll definitely keep her in the game. I don't know that she can get any better than 2. You might be able to come by that guard if you have the nerve to go by that guard really tight. Really tight. You can probably get rid of 3, actually. You got to touch the one close to the center line, though. If you don't touch the one close to the center line first, it's not going. So right about where the broom is, if she can hit right there and have a little bit of it, maybe I don't know, maybe an inch, maybe less than an inch, you could get rid of both yellows on the left as we look at it on the overhead and the yellow on the back right. They could all go. Somewhere in somebody's really good imagination, you might be able to get rid of all 4, but I don't see 4. I see 3, though. And realistically, 2 would be, I think, I would consider 2 a success on this shot if I got rid of 2 yellows. Long look here. She's going to give it a go. You got to get by that top one, though. You're still in the game if you can buy the top one and get rid of 2. If you try to play it tight enough that you, as tight as you probably need it, to be honest, to make this, then you could easily touch and drop 4. And 4 takes you pretty near out of the game. I don't know what the analytics show, but I'm sure they're not good for down 5 after 4 ends. Gracelyn Richards, Hail Mary here. She's not throwing it real hard, so I think it's more like trying to get rid of those 2 and call it a day. It looks like she'll probably do that. Oh no, she got unlucky there. It had to curl another inch. So Team Miura will steal 3 here in the 4th end and take a commanding lead of 6-2 into the 5th end when we come back from the break.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts charity bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
So our quarterfinal game between Richards and Miura continues into the fifth end here. Miura stealing 3 the last end to take a commanding 6-2 lead. A bit unfortunate for the Richards team for sure. Just made some great shots though by the Japanese squad. They did a great job on placement of rocks there and playing around with not a lot of ice and playing around with just the size of the forefoot, and somehow managed to get 4 of them in there. Reminder, we will be here all day on Curling Stadium Edmonton and Curling Zone. We'll have all the results from all the events all day long. Encourage you to go and check it out. If you're not there, have a look at it. If you haven't been there, go on in, like and subscribe to our site. You can use the support for sure as we bring you all the best curling in the country that we have access to, at least. And most weekends you can find us here doing coverage of one event or another from across the country. Sometimes more than one event. Here looking to come around the short center guard. 4-2 lead now. I would expect her not to be super aggressive, but you have to pretty much be for those first few rocks. A little rub there. Richard's going to play the draw behind the corner guard. Just needs to go pretty hard now. Forehands would play 4 down 4. You don't have the luxury of really kind of being willing to just take one or give up one occasionally and stuff like that. You really do need to get a couple here. The curling math to work for you. You got to get 2 and give up 1. Get 2 and then probably steal 1 to tie it up. But certainly doable. And a pretty good start here. This one looks like it's going to be just behind the guard. Don't want to sweep it any further. It's going to come open. Yeah, kind of did come probably a little bit more open than they would have liked, but Probably see 2/3 of this rock, I would imagine, from the other end. On its way. Not a whole lot of weight. Doesn't look like a whole lot of weight on it. She's already... Oh, she's drawing here. Well, I'm not really sure. I don't think that was a draw. I think that was a takeout, but I don't know what happened to it. I can't have no answer on that one. It might be that they were never a part of it. It might have been they've never been out there and didn't know how much of a curl, but I have to assume that she was well inside the broom. And maybe that combined with the fact that they didn't have enough ice or enough weight. Either way. Rachel Jakes throwing the out turn. No, throwing the in turn, sorry. Around the guard. This one looks again pretty good. Rachel's the sister of Ryan, who does a lot of production work here for us at the curling stadium. Took the day off today. Needed that one to go a little bit further. Unfortunately, it does set up a possible double for Team Miura. Should be fairly close. Used to curl a hair more. And makes it perfectly. Very nice shot there. For second stone, Yuna Sakuma. Quick thanks to everybody taking in the game today. We have a good crowd out there. On Curling Stadium, Edmonton, on YouTube. Curling Zone site on YouTube. It'd be perfect. So a draw around the guard here for Richards. Will she get by? And she won't. They've had so many just rubs in the last little while. It's just a little bit light. Couldn't really do any more than they did, to be honest, but sometimes you're just on the wrong side of the inch. Or in that case, a couple of feet, but here it doesn't really know what to do now. She's got more rocks, actually. It is one of those problems that happens when you have a lead sometimes, that you just have more rocks around than you want to have. And even though most of them are yours right now, they don't all help you a whole lot. Really doesn't want to get into playing a draw game here. She's thinking about maybe peeling this corner. Don't know if the corner is really hurting you a whole lot right now, but you do have to play something. And it does stop the draw on the out turn to the button if you ever had to go in there. So here we go with the in-turn peel. Nothing wrong with this call at all. Matsunaga. Needs to curl a little bit, maybe. No, looks fine. Nice throw. Good result. You gotta like this team. Very good throwers. You say they all look happy all the time, win or lose. And they did lose a couple games in this event. They came into this 2-2 into this game, so it hasn't been all roses for them this weekend for sure. So Team Richards haven't anything get going here now. It's sort of struggling hard. When you're down 6-2 like this, you really need to make all good shots, and sometimes it's hard to do. It's just hard to keep your head in the game and all that sort of thing, because that was quite short, that shot by Ryerchuk. Just was not really very close, and now you're going to see Miura go right around it. Again, not that she really wants to, but she's sort of almost forced into it at this point. Matsunaga's outturn draw looks to be really, really good. So Miura's team not having any trouble figuring out draw weight. That's a very nice shot. It can get really hard when you're skipping sometimes in these situations. You're just trying to figure out what to do to make something work, and nothing seems to be working. You're really not too keen on playing a whole lot of takeouts, but again, you don't have a lot of choice right now. She could play the raise on her own red, but actually, which onto the yellow, which would keep the red right behind the guard. But not an easy shot. You got to make it. This is close, though. There's a great shot. Very nicely done by Sophia Ryerchuk. Should be much happier with that. And a really nice comeback after missing the first draw. So you'll see this going down. Threw it nice. Didn't throw it really hard. Just threw the nice solid takeout weight. Sweeper jumps on it here. Trying to make it curl a little bit. And she does. And it rolls right to the button behind multiple guards. Just a great shot. So Miura can't really do much other than just play the draw here. Probably a little tap on her own would work, but just don't want to make this. It's still going to be difficult for Richards to manufacture a lot of points here. So anything short here is a pretty good shot. Richards might have to play the angle raise on the red, which could set her up for a 3. But for now, take the draw on the outturn away, which would be a easier shot. She's going right in here. That's nicely done. It's actually quite good. Takes away that raise on the red now because it jams on your own. I don't know if you can get enough curl on the in-turn to come around the red guard and be full 4-foot. That looks like a lot of curl in about 6 feet. So I don't know that would work. You do have possibly the out-turn draw. Gracelyn looking at maybe hitting that yellow that Miura just threw, staying right there. Probably giving up on 3 then for sure, but right now 3 looks pretty much a stretch, so try to get some way that you can get a couple. Shot by Miura was just good enough that it makes it really hard to do much with that yellow one. In a sense of being able to get multiple rocks to count. You could make the double here, for example, if you were Richards. You could make the double on the yellows and probably have the red stay, but your shooter's going to roll out. So you're not going to be any better off in a lot of ways. And Miura comes in and sits it right on top of it the next time, then you're even worse off. So she's playing just a hit on this red, or in the yellow rather. And Joey's going to touch a guard too. Oh, not a good shot for Gracelyn Richards there. Needed more weight. That was not really all that close. That rock was pretty much wide open. So Miura sizing this up. Then continually looking at how do we score here. Just got to be a little careful. Seems like I say it a lot. She doesn't really listen to me very well, but she also doesn't seem to miss anything, so good for her. Goal here, just trying to not do something that makes Gracelyn's opportunity for 2 to be easier than it is right now. Right now, it's not very easy at all. Looks like just a little tap is what they settled on. Similar type shot as she played the last end when she ended up stealing 3, just a couple foot tap. These are really not that easy to throw, to find the perfect weight that number of times, and everything it's been very impressive. Just don't want to bump this one into the open, where Richards can play a hit and roll off it. Because right now, she just doesn't have any easy opportunity here. Here it comes. This looks really good again. This could be just a tiny little bit light, but what an effort. Not a great try. Red sitting 1, and I suspect they'll be sitting 1 when this ends over. I don't see how they're ever going to get a second point. While we talk, you'll notice the other semifinal game beside, or quarterfinal. I keep wanting to jump ahead to the semifinals here. Quarterfinal game beside us is over. Myla Plett winning that one 8-1 over Keeley Duncan. Battle of 2 Alberta teams. So, I honestly have no idea what she's going to do here. I guess she's going to try to raise this to the straight back, dead straight back into the 4-foot. It's really probably all she has. I don't see a whole lot else, to be honest. A really crazy hard shot, but at score 6-2, you probably need to try it if it's there and if it's possible. You need to try it. It's going to be tough to steal 3 ends in a row against this team, I think. The hard part with this shot is that when you hit this, it's going to actually pick up the opposite rotation. So it'll actually be going away from where you want it to end up. So you probably need to tap it so it almost hits the yellow one right now, because it is going to move. Even though it's not very far, it will switch the turn on it and it will go away from the center. I don't think it's gonna curl too much. You see how it's rotating away, but a very nice effort for Gracelyn Richards. It was not easy at all. Just a little bit heavy. Really, really hard. You're trying to tap to about a foot, one square foot of space there, and that's it. So Richards does pick up 1 here in the 5th end, and she will go to the 6th, or go to the 7th. Where are we at here? 5th, go to the 6th, down 6-3, without hammer, in this quarterfinal action from the Saville U25 Challenge, Saville Curling Center. Back after the break.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, yeah.
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Band has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
We're back for 7th end, or 6th end. I keep wanting to move ahead and end. 6th end, quarterfinal action between Team Miura of Japan and Team Richards of Edmonton, Alberta. Richards down 3 with 3 ends to go. Not an impossible task, but you're probably going to need to steal 1 here to give yourself a realistic shot. Unfortunately, now it's hard to have the luxury of, unless you're going to steal 2 someplace, it's hard to have the luxury of being able to give up a point somewhere to get hammer back and maybe get a deuce with hammer. The math just doesn't work out so good there. So really, it's kind of all out to steal. I think this end would be the plan. Up, and the center guard went up in a very nice spot. And Team Miura going to come around. Yuna Takahashi, the lead for Team Miura. Good shot. Didn't quite curl to where they wanted it, but still a good shot. So Gracelyn Richards putting up a second guard. Higher. In a perfect world, but one that is there now would have been a little bit tighter than that, to create a little bit more space for this next one, but lead Amy Wheatcroft. to be on the center line here. Very well done. Very good. About right on top of that one would be fine. For Miura, making the assumption here that she is going to want to peel after this. She may not, though. I will tell you, it's a possibility that she would opt not to do that. This one's got to curl a lot, though. And it's also heavy. You want to take it by that yellow. We'll get it there. So I'm not sure what happened there. I have to assume she missed the broom on that. Seeing how they just threw the first one there, they would have had probably put the broom in the exact same place. Probably had to be a little wide, but either way, something for Gracelyn to work with, though. It's got 2 guards of your own guards, and you've got a couple rocks in the house that are nice enough position if you can sink one in between them that yours would never be able to be removed, that's for sure. Second stone, Rachel Jakes. Need to get this one there, I think. It would be much better to be there than to be short. But it is short. Still, not the end of the world, but here is going to go out and peel. So looking to run this back red on red. Try to get rid of both guards. Whoop, little speed wobble. But a good recovery for Yuina. And she's really close. Well, that's a great shot. You know, it doesn't look great when you look at it right now and say, well, how's that great? But you know, she just got rid of both guards, which are the problems. You can see the little wobble here, and nice recovery. And actually, you'd watch them there the last half of the slide, you'd never know she had a little wobble. She was perfect. She hits this one just the right spot. Pretty well knew it was going to go back into the other one. If you made the double, you were going back awfully close to that at least. So a little bit more things to work with for Richard. So definitely a chance to get back in it here, but you don't want to hog this one. Gotta go, gotta get it over, and she will not get it over. Not be happy with that. Chance now for Miura to play the double on the reds. Not quite sure. Yeah, she's going to hit it that way. That made sense. So just the way she was. Normally, if you're going to play it that way, you'd play the intern. She's not going to play the intern, I don't think. Oh, she might. Yeah, she is. Okay. They look pretty intently at the angles from everywhere. This is Sakuma once again. A ton of weight on this one. Might have thrown it a little bit harder than the skipper was thinking, to be honest. That happens quite frequently with front ends. They get an opportunity to throw a big peel, and especially if it's a double, and they want to throw it harder than you're calling it. A couple of young guys play with me and on the one night at our curling club, and Our second stone can throw a lot of weight, and he's not a very big guy, but he can throw a lot of weight. But he likes to throw it even when you're not supposed to throw it, so that's the hard part. Anyway, so Richard's going to guard this one up. Third stone, Sophia Ryerchuk has to put a guard on here. Looks like she's got a good one. And she does. It curled a little more than they were planning, but the yellow one being where it is, I think you'll see the guard go here. Straight peel, nothing fancy here, not trying to run this back or anything like that. Second, Ai Matsunaga. Very nice. Richard doesn't have a lot of choice here. She pretty much has to throw this guard back up and hope to somehow or other get a little bit of a miss. And on her last one, she'll probably end up having a hit and just split the house a little bit and hope to get a rollout maybe by Miura. I don't see much else, to be honest. Might need a little better imagination than I have for it, but I don't really see that there's much else you can do. Stone Ryerchuk. Looks like she's got another good one. Nice shot. Two good guards by Sophia Ryerchuk. Kind of like a timeout here. It's a very interesting time. Interesting time for a timeout. Probably knows that she can see probably half of that red rock or almost half of that red rock that's in the house. So the question becomes, do you want to take a shot at the one in the house? Or do you want to just go ahead and peel the guard? I think you peel the guard here. The only way you get into a lot of trouble here is if you go after the one in the house and it ever stays out, or you don't get it the way you want and leave the guard. It's just, you know, the guard is the one that's going to cause you the grief. And be a little longer discussion than I thought they would have, to be honest. I really thought it would be fairly simple. She's going after the one in the house, which also surprises me a little bit. So nothing terribly wrong with it. I just think it has a chance to backfire, possibly, if it ever doesn't work here. That's a very nice throw. Matsunaga's had a great game. Not scoring or anything, but she has not missed much. If you're Richards, you're looking at a little hit and roll here. Just want to roll about a rock and a half behind the guard. Natsuyama probably peels the guard, and then you throw another guard and hope that's good enough to score. Delicate little shot, though. You definitely want to stay around in this, and you want to stay behind the guard. Just staying around anywhere is not good enough, really, for this one. So you got to nail the weight and line combination. I don't know if this is going to curl enough. It doesn't look like it. Going to be right on the nose. A little too heavy, I think. Seemed like quite a bit of weight compared to what I thought she would throw. So Miura now will play the hit. Yeah, and she could roll a little bit behind the guard, would be good. Either that, or if you're not going to roll that way, then roll the other way a little bit, so you don't leave that same hit and roll. That's the only shot that gets you in trouble right now, because you left the guard up there, so anything behind the guard could be a problem for you. But if you roll open, I'm guessing Richards ignores it anyways and goes around the guard. If you stay right there, she might just play the hit and roll again. Looks like that's what she's going to do. I really think I would have preferred, if it was me, I would have definitely preferred to roll away than stay right there. Although, having said that, it's looking at the overhead now, it's steep enough that she really can't play the roll off of yours. So maybe it's not so bad. So Richards with her last rock here in the 6th, and it could be the last rock of the game for her if she doesn't put this somewhere where Miura cannot remove it, because it's looking like a very good chance that Miura will have some sort of a shot for a 2 or 3-hander here. And the problem is that guard is so long that if you go around it, you could still be very gettable. But get it in there first, because nothing can happen that's good if you don't get this one in there. Gracelyn Richards on a rock in the 6th stand. Starting to curl pretty good. Still needs to go a long way and needs to go a little further too. I think the weight's okay. No, slight. Too bad. Really nice line for Gracelyn Richards. Just didn't have enough speed. Miura will draw for... She has an open draw for 3, which would probably put an end to this one. A little heavy, but she's got a catcher. So final shot for 3 here in the 6th. And that's going to conclude this one with Yuina Miura from Japan defeating Gracelyn Richards from Edmonton here 9-3 in this quarterfinal match. Miura will move on to a date with Sung Yan Ha in the semifinals. As everyone shakes hands. Tough game. Miura played very well. Miura's team played very well. Game started off like it was going to be a real tight one right to the finish, but sometimes that happens. They just go this way. Very polite, this Japanese team, as always, bowing to the crowd. So we will say goodbye for this one. Thank you very much for joining us at the Saville U25 Challenge here at the Saville Curling Center in Edmonton, Alberta. And you've been watching this on Curling Stadium, Edmonton. And so for myself, Jim Nix, and Connor Sims in the production, thanks very much, and we'll see you back here in a couple of hours for the semifinal action.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Comments and stuff.